Welcome to the Goffstown Zoning Board. Would you please all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the July meeting of the Goffstown Zoning Board of Adjustment. The Goffstown Zoning Board of Adjustment is an elected board of 5 members and up to 5 appointed alternates. We currently have 5 members and no alternates, and if anyone is interested in serving, please see the Planning and Zoning Department at Town Hall. The board has a posted agenda for each meeting and tends to follow the items in order. The board will open the public hearing on an application to receive testimony from applicants, abutters, and affected parties, and ask questions about the request. The public hearing will then be closed, and the board will enter into a deliberative session to discuss the merits of the request. For each application, the board will decide to approve with conditions, deny, or continue to a later meeting. You're welcome to watch the deliberations this evening, or you can contact the zoning and planning office at Town Hall in the morning to get the results. For an applicant's request to be approved, there must be an affirmative vote of at least 3 members. An applicant can request a continuance if there is not a full 5-member board to act on an application. We do have a full board this evening. If you are grieved by a decision made by the ZBA tonight, you have the right to appeal to the Superior Court. However, before appealing to the Superior Court, you must request a rehearing with this board to preserve your right to appeal. Rehearing request must be filed within 30 days of the decision and state all reasons why the decision was unlawful or unreasonable. Failure to request a rehearing may forfeit your ability to appeal to the Superior Court. Please silence your cell phones for the course of the meeting. I ask the board to introduce themselves, starting on that end with Jack.
Jack Shepard, Building Inspector, Code Enforcement Officer, and zoning.
John Delvo, member.
Denise Langley, Vice Chair.
Leonard Stewart, Chairman.
Jason Cody, member.
Judy Elaine, member.
All right, I will ask for a motion we have approval of the May 7th and June 4th minutes on the agenda. Anyone have corrections? Actually, let me add this. Incorporating, we did receive an email from Jason before this meeting offering a number of corrections to the May meeting minutes. I move that we incorporate those corrections into the approved minutes.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, moving on to our first public hearing.
I'm sorry, that was for the May.
May.
That was
So now we have
for,
the June
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay,
That's okay.
that was May, yeah.
Right,
Okay,
that was
yep.
for the May.
all right. I'll entertain a separate motion for the June minutes.
I motion that the June minutes are fine as written.
Jeez.
Second?
I wasn't here.
Oh, okay.
Second, anyone?
Second. Third.
Too slow.
All
I got you by a second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Opposed? 4-1, minutes are approved. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We'll move into our
There we
public.
go.
We'll move into our first public hearing of the evening. Raymond and Doris Gamache, applicant owners, are seeking a variance from section 5.2.7 of the zoning ordinance to add an accessory dwelling unit to an existing home on a lot that does not meet the minimum lot size. The lot has 1.1 acres, whereas 2.0 acres are required per section 4.3. The property is located at 151 Page Hill Road, map 8, lot 7A, zoned agricultural. Is someone here to speak on behalf of the Gamashes? Please come on up, and
I move no regional impact.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Come on up and tell us about what you want to do.
You know,
Ray, you gotta get up there with
I
it.
gotta get up too. Jeez, I know I was getting up too. Hang on.
He was seriously gonna just let me come up here by
Yeah,
myself?
yeah. Put the football on.
You weren't gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
That look said that wasn't gonna happen anyway.
You didn't bring my notes?
Do you need it?
Yes, please, in
Okay.
case I have to take notes.
Oh, my. I should have left him at home.
We're at the beach.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alrighty. So I am Doris.
I'm Ray Gamache.
We are looking to add on a two-stall garage and above it a in-law apartment. I know that the ordinance doesn't, we don't have enough land for that. We do have a lot of frontage though. We have a ranch right now, and even on both sides we have a large area. Even building the two-stall garage and the apartment above it, it still isn't gonna go off our pavement. So we still have more than enough room for, if you're looking at the house, the neighbors to the left. On the right-hand side, there is a road that goes down to Upreach. So there's really nobody there until you get to the neighbor on the other side of the road. In back of us is Upreach, and the land kind of goes like this. The reason for us wanting to build this is a few things. Ray and I are going to move into that apartment, and my daughter and her two children, with the way the economy is right now, are having a very difficult time trying to find some place to live. They moved twice now. She's divorced. They've moved twice, and we have the capability to let them live in the house. We thought of selling it, but to do that, gotta buy one for over $500,000, and that's ridiculous. So this way here would make a good living area for them. We grew up in Goffstown, born, raised here. My kids have been raised in Goffstown, and my daughter wants to raise her children here. Which this way here we can help each other out financially as far as, you know, the way the economy is, and it's just terrible. So I believe we've submitted all of the paperwork. We do have a builder and everything, and that's pretty much the gist of it. You know?
Can you talk just about the size of the ADU unit and what you're building? How many square
The
feet?
unit is
and
going to
all
be,
that?
our ranch right now, this way is 26, so it's going to be 30 by 26,
The addition.
the addition.
The two stall underneath it, so whatever that is from now. Was it 8 something? 800 square feet, how much was that? You remember?
I'm looking at your application here, and it says 780.
Oh yeah, I know it's like 800 or something, yeah, I know.
Yeah, less than
Yeah.
800, yeah.
We are going to be doing, I mean, I know the houses around us are pretty nice. You know, I mean, there's a couple, you know, little farmhouses, whatever, but there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 new houses. This would, of course, make the house look newer. We are doing a brand new roof on the old house to match the new house, so it's not, you know, it's not like we're just gonna have this old house and where it's all gonna be blended in. It's actually gonna look like a very big, nice house. It'll just make, of course, the road appeal nicer too. Value of the neighborhood to meet up with the other ones. But all of our neighbors are great, so I'm not.
you meet all the setbacks, you just don't meet the lot size, is that
Correct.
correct?
We meet all the
Yep.
setbacks,
Right.
everything.
And you've already gotten a approval for a new septic
Yeah,
system?
it's right here if you need it. I think you already
Yeah.
have it.
And like I said, even if you were to build go 30 feet off of our house, I think it's 139. It doesn't even, where our driveway is now, and that doesn't include going further off, it doesn't even like end our driveway going outward, so it's still
Right.
there. And then, I don't know how many feet from 30 feet to the neighbor's house would be. Yeah.
It's like 100 feet.
It's like 100 feet.
Nice.
You know, on that end, after it's built. It's just that and even in the back, I mean, it goes pretty close. I mean, you would not, if, where the trees are, where we kept them backwards, you would never know that that is not our land back there. You know, I mean, Upreach has been good to us, we've been good to them, you know. I don't really know too much more to really, I mean, it's pretty black and white, I guess. We've been,
Well, we got all the right paperwork.
we've tried to
We
make
tried to
sure
get the right
all our
paperwork in
paperwork has
order.
been in already. It's just a matter of just waiting to see if this would go, and then take it on, get it done before winter, that's for sure. But the septic plans have already been sent to the state
Yeah,
and been
yeah.
approved
Yeah.
and everything.
Jack, in your staff review, are you saying that we need to give them two separate variances, or we can combine that into one?
You can combine that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Because it's detached.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Detached.
Okay.
It is
Yeah.
detached.
I wasn't sure according to the picture.
Yeah, that's what I was,
But
that's what I was just
when I
looking
went
forward to.
there, yeah,
Oh,
I
I thought
mean,
it was attached.
couldn't
Just
tell
on
by
that
the picture.
I just looked
I'm
at.
looking at the,
it's detached, is it
So it's gonna be
detached?
attached to the house.
Oh, it
Oh,
is.
it is.
Okay.
Yes, but you still can't get from
Oh.
one house to the other.
Okay, but it's kind of a breezeway attached to it.
Can you
No.
get
So,
from the
Jack-
ADA unit to the main house?
Yes,
Without going
so there's
outside?
different ways you
From the
can
cellar,
get it.
yes.
Okay.
When you go,
Yep, yep, from the cellar, we're
the
good, yeah.
cellar, you go into
Yeah.
from her house, well, I call it her house, so from the main house,
Yeah.
you can go down to the cellar, and then you'll be able to walk through the garage,
So she still
go
has-
up the
yes.
stairs this way. And then to get out of the main house, there are 3 exits. There's sliders in the back, there's stairs going down through the garage, and then in the front, for the apartment, there's 3 exits. There is the exit going out the back door. Then there's gonna be going down the stairs, which you could go through the garage and up stairs if you need to. And then there's an exit door that will go out there, and then the 2 garage doors. So there are 3 exits from each, and the mutual, I guess, place you would say would be, you could go down the stairs on each side, and the garage is all open. So you can get to each side just by going through the garage. It's all open through there.
That's an
So
important
it's
bit of
considered-
information.
Yes,
So
that's what,
it's an attached.
it's an attached.
Dwelling unit, yeah, okay.
so from your picture here, you're building to the left.
Left, correct,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. Yep, see it.
Is that a picture of the house? No.
Attached, man.
Jeff, what is the frontage on this?
On the new one?
That's the acres.
The
And then,
existing
so that
house.
you're saying,
The
so we're doing,
attachment.
one is for the lot size.
Yes.
Okay, so it needs to be 2.
Is- so you- I
You
work-
have one here
No,
about the
that's
I was
front.
gonna say, you were busy.
What is the
No.
front?
I've had to do it a few times.
I know you did, I just didn't say nothing. I know nothing.
The frontage is 35 feet?
No, that's what it should be, but it's less. 4.3.
No, no, frontage, how many feet? Frontage. How
How many bathrooms do you need to do?
Excuse me?
Acres is
Two, so it'll be
1.1,
Well,
four bathrooms.
2.
Correct.
Well,
That's
it's,
what the
And I
expansion
just
of
am
the-
curious of what
Yeah,
the
septic.
frontage is and setback.
It's
The
one and-
the setbacks is,
They meet the setbacks, so
They meet the setbacks.
do they not?
It's still 1 1/4, does that matter? There's no shower and
Just toilet.
Yeah, just toilet.
50
Yeah.
feet.
Okay.
Oh, 'cause I'm like,
Yeah, they
not
put
50 feet. Okay.
It's 50, roughly
Yeah.
56
Okay.
feet off the road.
No, I'm asking what the frontage is of the
Total
entire lot
Correct.
It looks about
versus what's
230
required,
When you said 50 feet, I'm like, what?
Is it
and what's
139?
required.
No, I think,
No?
was it that?
I
What?
think it's only 200.
It is
isn't it?
139?
So,
It's 139, the frontage is
Does it-
139?
Yes, the frontage is 139.
And it needs to be 200 feet, okay.
So
So that's why
according to
there's two, I'm just
staff-
trying to get this in order,
Oh.
so we know.
so the staff review is for 2, you're suggesting we can make it 2 variances, but make this 1 variance?
Correct.
Correct, okay. And it would be for the frontage?
Frontage inclusive. Frontage, yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right, if you have it, how about putting it into a motion?
We have to close
Well,
this public hearing.
if there's anything else you want to add, folks, your responses are already part of the application, and that becomes part of the official record, but if there's anything else you'd like to add, or I look back in the audience and see if there's anyone else who'd like to speak?
I'm good.
You
I
can-
think,
you-
like I said, I think it's pretty,
Hopefully.
It's quite straightforward.
it is, and like I said, I was
Well, I
going
guess-
to be shocked to see if any of our neighbors were here because we all are fine with one another and
If you-
so.
Talking to your neighbors is the thing that we always advise
Yeah.
anyone who comes before us, so.
Yeah.
All right, you can step back, folks, if you wish. I will look around the audience and say if there's anyone here who wishes to be heard on anything regarding this application, please come forward. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing, open the meeting for discussion. Members of the board, what's your pleasure?
Well, I'm just going through the variance criteria, and it's certainly not contrary to the public interest based on the lot location and where it is. The spirit of the ordinance, I feel, is absorbed, even though the lot is smaller, but it fits into the neighborhood, all the lots are small. So, you know, I'm just going through the criteria, so when there's a motion. Granting the variance would do substantial justice. This is 2 people who lived in town their whole entire life, want to stay in town. Going to end up being a 3-generation place. I think that's exactly what these ADU units were designed for. Certainly isn't going to diminish the property, the surrounding property, and an unnecessary hardship. The ordinance is enforced. They're going to end up probably having to move out of Goffstown, and I think that's a hardship. So that's just my take on going through the variance criteria.
Sounds good to me. Make a motion.
Are we ready? Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the variance. First, do I have to change the staff review that it's 2 variances into 1 variance? How are we gonna work?
No, I think you just combine that word.
Okay.
There's 2 ordinances that are not being followed, and we're accepting it on this, for this particular ADU.
Yeah, I'd like to approve the application for Raymond and Doris Gamache at 151 Page Hill Road for the add an accessory dwelling unit attached to the existing home on a lot that does not meet the minimum lot size and we will have one variance for the frontage, which is required for 200 feet, and the home has 139 for the frontage, and we approve that. The spirit of the ordinance is observed because it's just enhancing the property, and the granting of the variance would do substantial justice because it is helping the family stay in Goffstown instead of leaving, and it's going to be a 3-generation ADU unit which will be on the site at that time. Surrounding properties will not be diminished because it'll be all brand new. The entire building is going to be re-roofed and all match. Unnecessary hardship, if ordinance is not enforced, is that they can't help out their family and have them all stay and live in Goffstown, which would be a tremendous hardship for the family and the children involved.
I'll second that.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining? You have your variance, folks. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, guys.
It's nice all your paperwork is done. It's ready to go. Don't worry, I know it's
It's
going to
dark, I mean, going back to that beach.
Yeah, we're going back.
Good for you.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Thank you, have a good night.
Okay, moving to our second public hearing tonight. Cynthia Bovair of, how is it pronounced, Arago or Arago? Arago Land Consultants LLC, the applicant, and Teresa Louise, and presuming Louise Perkins, owner, are seeking 2 variances to subdivide the property into 2 lots. The first variance is required because one of the proposed lots will have 143.51 feet of footage, whereas 150 feet is required per section 4.2.1 and 4.3 of the Goffstown zoning ordinance. The second variance is required because the proposed lot will have a width of 42 feet plus minus, whereas 150 feet is required per section 4.2.3 of the Goffstown zoning ordinance. The property is located at 69 Bog Road, map 4, lot 68, zoned residential 1. I'll entertain a motion for regional impact.
Second.
I'll motion this on regional impact.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Welcome. Tell us what you want to do.
I'm Cynthia Bovair, Arago Land Consultants, and this is Chris Jenkins, Teresa's son. He drove up from New York today for this, so the frontage, it's inherent in the land. It's, it's just short, 7 feet plus or minus for the full 300-foot frontage that you'd need for the 2 lots. The existing lot where the easement goes to lot 69, you have a full-size plan in front of you. That there's an easement over that to lot 68 and 69. Lot 68 is the subject parcel. Lot 69 is the farmhouse next door, and the 69's driveway goes across lot 68. And then there is an existing easement across the farmhouse lot that goes back into the rear of lot 68. So the intent is that whole easement area with the 147 feet would be the frontage for that for a back lot. Teresa really she's not going to subdivide it. She's not interested in subdividing it, but in wanting to sell it. She's a real estate agent. Every question is asked, can it be subdivided? We've known whoever owns it, if they want to subdivide it, they need to have a variance for the frontage. So that's why we're here today. Someone could buy it, and they may not want to subdivide it, and that variance would expire in 2 years, and that would be it. But for Teresa, she's lived there for,
Since the 80s.
Since-
Dick built the house for her.
so she's moved to Chicago to be closer to her daughter now, and she's selling her property. So, so we're just wanted, the land is of more value to any future buyer if they could subdivide it. So that's the reason for the frontage. It's inherent in the land. The parcel just doesn't have enough frontage. The width is, the ordinance isn't quite clear. It really says it's the width of the lot, the house front. Now, the house isn't going to be in that little tight area at the front. It's going to be, the intent would be that the house is probably going to be in this beautiful section. The intent would be this, in this huge area of dry land.
Big
That's-
hayfield.
It's a big hayfield. That's where the intent would be, that this would be the house area. The existing driveway would come in through this, and there's already a wetland crossing right there, and then it comes right, it goes back to that. So that's what we think if someone wanted to subdivide it, that's where it'd be, because on Teresa's house lot, there probably isn't enough, well, there's not enough there's only really enough frontage for the two lots, so. So that's the intent of that.
This was just a concept to
Yeah.
show everybody.
Right. When we were doing the application, the staff felt that they really wanted to have an idea of what could be done. So this is just an idea of what could be done. And there is a pinch point, and that's that 42 feet. It's not where a building would be, but I just thought it would be helpful to the zoning board so you could see. It's tight right there. They could put their driveway through that area. But there's two existing driveways. The existing house, it keeps its driveway. It comes right, it's right there, it's all on that lot. And then this lot, its driveway, it's going to be over, let's say, Lot B. But this is the frontage for that. And so there are two existing driveways. They've been there like that forever. Again, it's inherent. I would say they grandfathered those two access points. We're not thinking that they would be putting in another new driveway. It's too tight in there. But that's not part of zoning.
Okay. So I see a driveway. I believe this is the second one.
Yeah.
And it also goes across lot 469.
Which one are you looking
It
at?
goes into the lower lot,
This one?
and it's kind of swirls
Yes.
around.
Yeah, that's the existing driveway that's...
So the driveway, and that is right now it's a driveway to no buildings, correct?
Well, this road
serves lot
here is
69.
the existing driveway to the original...
Okay,
farmhouse.
269, but then it shows that there's an existing driveway that just keeps curling all the way up.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the path that the tractors always took to the field back here.
Okay. So are you proposing that's going to be the driveway to a future house, or are you proposing you're going to have your own driveway for this lot?
Thank you.
We're not proposing anything because, again, they might not do it, but there is an existing driveway easement. This is there's an existing driveway, this is an existing driveway easement, and this is an existing driveway easement between these two lots. If they do subdivide it the way we intended, I'm sorry, you two might have to share.
Oh, that's it.
Is that okay? I'm sorry.
I can share with Judy, she's cool.
Thank you. Because it's existing, so that there's already easement between the two lots. Once let's say a third lot gets done, that the original house lot for Teresa would no longer have any rights to that driveway, because it wouldn't have anything to do with that existing house lot.
Do you have the easement for that driveway? My
recorded.
feeling is if we were to grant this, I don't understand why the
So
new
if,
owners could just build a new driveway
Yeah.
on the piece of property that has frontage.
if somebody, let's say that somebody bought it tomorrow,
Mhm.
my mother's property, and they didn't want to subdivide it, the easement is there as a tool to get to the back of the property.
Correct, if they
And that- and
decide not to.
That's how it's designed and
Mhm.
recorded and memorialized. If somebody does try to subdivide it, then that becomes a part of the subdivision process. Well, you have to get rid of this and move it to there. and-
Right.
We didn't try to over-engineer this. We know what the options are, but
You wouldn't have to, my thinking, and I could be wrong, this is just my opinion.
Thank you.
You wouldn't have to prove that there has to be a driveway. You're asking for forgiveness for not paying money.
we know
Okay.
that there's a constraint on with the town bylaws on the frontage and this chokeway,
And
and that's what we're
it's
trying.
minimal, okay, and I'm gonna be very honest with you, personally, I feel that's a minimal thing. My concern is a driveway.
Sure.
And I cannot grant a variance saying, I'm gonna take that back. I'm not sure if I would grant a variance saying they're gonna use the existing driveway when they can create their own. That's
So-
all I'm trying to say here, but let me take a look at this, please.
So when Dick Perkins did, he had done another thing in that triangle easement right off of Bog Road.
This one, without a lot number, the triangle easement? Oh, up here?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, yep.
that was.
This one right here.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
first section, it was
Yeah.
supposed, in, I think it's record plan 1225, it's not in your packet because this
Well-
most recent plan from Bob Todd kind of incorporated all of the Perkins land out there. That was never conveyed to lot 69. And then per this plan, it became an access easement. Plan 37975, which is the basis for the two drawings that I gave you. So and then but then an easement deed was never done. So when Teresa was getting everything settled, they created that corrective easement
Yes.
for both the farmhouse lot 69, as well as lot 68, because there's always been that little cross-access easement of that going through there. I mean, I think Deverens has been farming back there, and that's how they get in and out.
Yeah.
So that was the intent, like, let's clean that up. If
Yeah,
either
it's
lot
housekeeping.
69 or a new lot wanted to relinquish any rights, they could, but it couldn't be taken away from either one of them.
Okay,
And that's
I
what
understand
Teresa
that.
wanted to ensure. You can keep that.
There was a lot of housekeeping to get to this
Keep this for
point.
the
too.
record.
Yeah. Joanne Devanza did make a comment about the driveways, but but because the two existing accesses for both the two homes as well as all the back lot are pre-existing, that's why we thought, okay, we'll just, there'll be shared access. Do you want me to go through the 5 points?
Let me clear,
Okay.
right now, as it stands, we have only one lot of record, correct?
Yes.
468, the entire
The
original
green one. Yep.
outline here.
This is lot 68.
These Lot A, Lot B on the
Okay.
Todd map here are
Yes,
are
Conceptual.
speculative and
yes.
Okay, so that's
because the
not,
thing is,
But Lot A is where her house is
Yeah.
currently, so it's...
Yeah, Mom's house is here,
No,
and this
not
was all
too many
speculative.
lots.
But back when Bob Todd developed this, we worked with him, 10, 11 years ago. It was to clean up all the mess with all of the Perkins property that had been around for generations, and it was all part of an estate planning.
okay, so...
We just knew that Dick's farmhouse was eventually going to be sold off when this was done 10, 12 years ago. That's all they knew. If we had known this, we would have attended to this back at the time. And then when Dick passed and my mother decided to move, she's going to sell it. And the first question is, can it be subdivided? And that's when we met Cynthia.
So that Lot A is an individually recognized lot at
No.
this point, or is still part of the larger
Nope.
property?
Green is the only,
There
this
you
is
go.
the existing lot.
Correct. So they're creating.
She's selling the whole 19.79 acres. But to a buyer, that she would like them to have the variance so that if they wanted to do a subdivision, they
Okay.
know that they can. That seems to be the question that every person has asked the family. So
I
I'm
think the
sorry.
confusion, because I thought the
Hold
same
on,
thing.
and
I
this
thought
is
there was
only a
two lots.
concept.
It's
This is
not.
Yeah.
just literally something that Cynthia just, so that we can see what we're talking about somebody might do.
Yeah, this
This
is why
gets-
it's good to have you talk, because
Yeah.
I kept going through this,
Yeah.
and I read plans, and I kept thinking, you asking for 2 additional lots, and I'm like, I don't
No,
understand.
We're not asking for any lots.
Okay.
Actually, we're
You're
not asking.
you're asking for a variance
Yes,
for 1 lot, to be able to add a lot.
yes,
And you're asking a forgiveness, is it 7 feet?
yes.
Okay. I understand.
We have to have good-
I
clear
understand
conscience
that.
to sell the property,
Yes, I
right?
understand. Now I understand fully what you're looking for.
Great.
Um,
It's hard to get into words.
Please,
You want me to explain?
yes,
Okay.
please. So they're
So
looking
they
for,
have, what's your current frontage full? Maybe you can help me.
297,
From here to here.
293.51.
Okay, 293 feet of frontage. They need 150.
50 feet.
Okay?
Yeah.
One lot's gonna have 150, which is the house, the lot that the house is on.
Mom's house is
Yep.
kept.
And then the other one would have 143 feet of frontage.
Which would be
So they
this-
need a
this one here.
variance for that 7 feet.
Okay.
Because they're short 7 feet in the road frontage for a subdivision, or for a lot frontage.
And it's
That-
all,
that's one.
all,
That's,
The
Oh,
second one,
the
there's a
second one, no, that's the confusion.
So there's
The
not a
one
second?
one is where the house is currently,
yeah,
Mm.
and then the other one, it will be another lot.
Down-
And that
down.
will have a frontage of 143 feet.
Yes.
Right, right, but
So-
isn't there a width
so-
problem?
Yeah,
No,
I
there
said
is no- there is
moving
no
7
width.
feet.
There is no width problem because no house is going to be built in that pinch point.
Right.
But when I brought the plans to the planning office, Jack wasn't in, and talking to Patty and Derek, you know, there was a lot of talk about all this. I'm like, okay, we'll do the, I didn't originally have the concept plan. I said, okay, the next day I brought the concept plan and we asked for the width as well, just so it was noticed that we recognize that we're creating that very, very tight point, but there's going to be no building in there. All those existing barns and sheds, which could be on a second lot, as I'm showing it, the setback would remain. But whoever buys it might have to come back to you.
Okay, exactly.
Right.
Because we cannot, not saying we
You're
can
not
approve it.
approving those
We
two
cannot
lots.
approve an idea.
Oh.
We can approve, if
Right.
we choose to, what we see here.
Right.
Okay, because this is nice, you're correct. Nice area for a house, there's plenty of land. You're not looking for a small lot, you're just, barely making it with a little bit, with less frontage. I'd have an issue with that.
We're trying to clear the path. If you were the buyer, you
Right.
asked this question, I don't know.
Right, but, I just want you to know, I don't know where the board's going, but it has to be, this is,
The
What we
concept
have
is
today
a conversation piece
is-
for this discussion.
it's more than a conversation. We would have to approve this. We can't approve an idea of a subdivision. You don't have to subdivide it, but this is how it would be subdivided,
Right.
or the buyer would have to come back. if they
I
wanted to
have
subdivide.
much the same issue as Denise, because I have questions about our ability to grant a speculative approval on a second lot that does not yet exist.
Okay,
This
so,
has not been subdivided.
right.
This is a concept, and it's a nice concept maybe, but I don't see how we can bless something that isn't in existence.
So there's nothing in Goffstown zoning regulations that says, and personally, from my standpoint, I had said all along, whoever wants to buy it should be the one coming to you and coming to the planning board if they wanted to subdivide. But the buyers don't want to do that. The buyers wanted Teresa and her family to be able to say to them, yes, we could get 2 lots, but there's nothing in Goffstown regulations that says a single lot can't have that variance. Nothing would happen with that variance for a second lot until they came back to the planning board to put in a subdivision. If they don't come back within 2 years, their variances are gone,
I agree with that,
okay?
but we can be specific on what we're approving.
Right, and that plan.
That's where your question is, correct?
Right, but
Yeah.
that plan was not part of my application. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, this is,
That's the original lot.
yeah.
Well,
But the
okay.
concept plan was just, I brought it down the next day, that's why you all have full-size plans, so it was Derek and Patty that were like, we need to show them what it could be. And I was kind of saying to them, what you're saying to me right now. But, so the deal is, we have 19.79 acres with short 7 feet of road frontage, and the buyers just want to know, could we subdivide, and Teresa wanted to know,
I'll be very
Is it
honest with
possible?
you, I'm not comfortable with that.
oh,
I'm not comfortable with it being vague.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with what you've given me, showing a lot, pointing out where the house could be. That's you coming to us with information that helps us make a decision. For me to make a decision, and we don't know how this is going to be subdivided, I can't, I'm not getting enough information.
but we're not asking a variance for the subdivision, we're asking a variance for the frontage.
You're
Right, but the
asking to add
frontage-
another lot. And when somebody comes here, it would be, again, give you an example, somebody comes in for an ADU unit and they don't have it, we don't know what we're gonna do, we just want permission. They're not gonna walk out of here with a variance, in my opinion. And one of the things we almost always say is, as shown here to the board. So if we missed a little thing, but it's in a picture, that's what they're supposed to supply us. You know, some people show this nice fancy place and, you know how things work. It's my opinion, but I've been working with this board a long time, and you're asking us to approve something that I don't care if it happens or not, it has to be concrete. It doesn't have to be a subdivision, it doesn't, but this is enough information to me to say, this is what you're looking for.
Okay, but what I'm hearing is, though, that we've shown you that if we get the variance, then on the second sheet, that's where 2 lots, you could get the 2 lots in. And I still understand what you're doing, what you're saying, but on the one hand, you're saying, but we don't know what will happen, and we're saying, this very much is what probably could happen.
But
that doesn't-
probably could happen, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Okay,
A
but.
buyer doesn't necessarily have to come in and say they're going to be held by what Cynthia said at the table tonight. This is the thing where we need to have more concrete information that this is indeed the proposal that we're being asked to act on. And again, without a subdivision, without formally a subdivision, without having lots to grant frontage on, it's just speculative approval that I'm not comfortable
So,
with.
I guess my thing is like, when we would normally do a variance like this, we would say for lot, blah, blah, blah. We're granting a variance for this lot. There's no lot. How do I specify a non-existent lot in my motion? I can't. It's not there. I can't say, was it 69, 68? 68-1, I can't say that because it's not there.
So I guess I'd actually gone to talk to Jack before we came through with all of this, and literal enforcement of the provisions would result in a hardship. And again, I go back to, we've got 19.79 acres that is a beautiful piece of property that, for her to sell it, for the again, the possibility of 2 lots or 1 lot. She, as a longtime resident of Goffstown, she is able to get the value of this beautiful piece of property. And there's nothing that says you can't get a variance for the frontage is already there.
Or, I just want to clarify one thing, I don't want to interrupt your thought. When Cynthia and I first started talking earlier this spring, we knew that we were short, because that was the first question. Can this potentially ever be subdivided? Well, you're going to have a variance issue here because of frontage. And the goal would be to leave Mom's house with the adequate frontage, which is, what, 150 feet. And so that just anchors, this makes this a conforming lot, no matter what it looks like. The frontage is there, so it's anchored. And then if you're ever going to get a second lot out of this, here's where the pinch point is. It's 143 feet versus 150. So we're trying to do the due diligence to say, hey, because it makes a difference when we go to sell the property. We can say, we've gotten a variance in place that it will allow for future subdivision should you ever go to choose to pursue that, because that's a whole different bag of tricks, right, to go through and get a subdivision in place. And driveways or roads or whatever. It's, in this case, a driveway, right? So that was the intent here, was to flush this out so that we can say with clear conscience, this
So-
is,
But you could, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can make this law that we may.
what, the second
The
lot?
second lot.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Right, because all
you're
this
not gonna
lot
come
line
in
can be
here,
moved
I
around.
understand, with a plan that shows a subdivision. I get that. You're not gonna waste your time, you're not gonna waste your money, even if you wanted to do it, till you get approval, that you can do it. I understand that. I like what's shown here. If
What-
this was brought to me
This?
today, yes.
Oh, okay.
I like this. I, myself, would be prone to approve this as shown on this plan.
Oh, okay,
I
so
am
that,
not-
as opposed to the other sheet, which is just,
Vague.
okay. Now
Okay, so I'm
see.
not against the frontage issue. I'm against saying I'm approving another lot, but I don't know what it looks like.
Oh,
I've never seen this come to me on this board since I've been on it. I've never presented anything like that. I like what you're showing me.
can I ask you a question then
Sure.
on that?
Mhm.
So let's just say that was done, and that was in place.
Yes.
And then I bought the house.
Correct.
Which I'm not planning to do.
Yeah.
I can't afford it. Then I would come in and say, I bought this piece of property and I want it to look like this, completely different piece.
They'd
And
come in
then
for a whole
they-
new variance.
Then they would come in for a whole different variance,
Absolutely.
and this would burden the new owners. They said, well, back in '24, we approved this, and then I would have to show it looking like something else. And then that would be, all this group of people would be back together. Okay,
Putting
now I
the
understand.
burden on the buyer and not.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
so
seller.
we're
But
just-
showing them, we have it. We got permission to do this. We have a variance to subdivide it.
So we're
I
accomplishing
mean,
the same goal.
similar to
We're
this. You're not gonna be right to
accomplishing
the
same goal.
foot. I get that.
Yeah.
That, you got the large size plan because honestly, an 11 by 17 of that was going to be very confusing.
Correct, yes.
With your packet, so it seems like we're just, that is the conceptual, I mean, my office has all of Bob Todd's records. Unfortunately, we were not doing another survey, but whoever does it would have to do another survey, I'm sure, as you know, but, in the wetlands. But you do have, and if you want to approve it, that it's approved with lots A and B as shown on that plan, that conceptual, that's fine too. So that she wouldn't be selling 2 lots.
No,
She would be
I
selling-
understand that.
Okay.
I understand that. All you're asking for is, there's a variance.
And you're
I get
anchoring the
that.
variance on this, and that way you've got something that's
that's
not
my
vague
opinion.
and ambiguous.
I'm only one
I
person,
get it.
okay?
But I think you have the same concern.
This is an issue with, from what
I
I'm gathering. And I don't mean to speak over you. That's
But,
why I don't want to be chair of her.
but I guess if we're going to do that, then we would need to address that 42-foot problem.
Yes, so
Okay.
that's the variance.
No, there's two. There's one
two.
for the frontage, and then one for that 42-foot problem.
No, I don't,
No, it isn't.
that's not frontage, so it's not like they're
It's
building a
not house
house there.
frontage, it's not house
The
frontage.
the width of the lot in your...
They just wanted to show us how
The
it,
minimum, it's the 4.2.3 says the horizontal distance parallel to the front lot line, which would be the right-of-way, measured between the side lot lines at the front building line. So wherever the building is going to sit, that's where that front is. Now, we're not showing where a building is going to be, we're not showing the septic box, we're not showing your building box, we're not showing any of those things. But for your thing also, for us to show, if I didn't label that 42 feet, you'd be like, well, that's awful narrow right there. So I wanted you to know, if they wanted to redo the driveway, they could go through there, but they don't have to because there already is a deeded easement on that existing driveway coming through. That the width was, if you don't think we need the width one, that's fine, but I'd rather be here asking for it because of that
oh yeah, you have to get
narrowness.
that. That's,
Okay.
you definitely have to,
But
that's the
a building
variance.
isn't going to sit there.
Okay.
But the
So-
42 is sufficient for if someone decided to come in and just put a straight line driveway through there, there is room in that 42-foot squeeze.
You know, if you guys know the property at all, if that had to happen, if I bought the house and I didn't want to use Billy's driveway, I could put a driveway right parallel to the barn and just snake your way over it. So that 42 feet is more than
Okay.
enough. for
And there's no
it.
wetlands in that area?
No, no.
Okay. And Jack, you can
No, the
confirm.
wetland starts down
I don't
here.
see it on this, but I
Yeah,
know.
No, that's high
probably
ground, that's
really
the
old-
level of bog road, basically.
Okay.
And Rick Kohler, who did the wetlands back, and Bob Todd's in 2013, the Perkins originally contacted him. He's very familiar with it, and the wetlands really haven't changed out there, so, and this plan does show whatever they show for the wetlands, but Bob Todd's plan also does show the 100-foot setback.
Yeah.
So, you know, all of those, today's requirements are already shown on this plan, so we have quite a bit of buildable area back there.
He surveyed every square inch of the property.
Did we cover all of the 5 points? I think just because of the size of the lot, is going to be, it's consistent with the spirit. Substantial justice because it's such a large lot to be able to subdivide it. It's not going to diminish the surrounding properties. Wherever that house might be, that lot to the back, that's where that huge development is going, and that's really far away from this common lot line back there. And the hardship is just, it's a very large lot with a short 7 feet of road frontage.
Jack, can you explain your note number 5, the 4.3 table of dimensional regulations? You're talking about a narrow lot. Are you talking about that squeeze?
Yes,
So that needs a variance as well?
yes.
So
Okay, let me get an explanation of that.
because the AB thing was submitted tonight, it can be included as part of the record. So we could make a motion that specifies based, like, the variance is only for this
As
section.
shown on
As
the
shown.
conceptual plan presented this evening.
Okay.
And
Actually, you had, it was, came with your application.
Yeah, it came in the next day
Yes,
after.
I got it in my application.
I have it on mine, so.
Okay, so Jack, let me just, I want to try to be clear, I'm trying to get my notes together. 4.2.3, the width, the horizontal distance parallel to the front lot line measured between the side lot lines at the front building line. So you're saying any lot that comes wide, bottlenecks, and goes out,
Right.
they're not gonna meet the setback. They're
Correct.
not meeting that.
Correct.
That pinch point is the only that needs a variance.
Yes, and it has a problem with the fire department also, but as far as we're concerned, yes.
Okay, that's not an issue for us.
Okay, this is not
42
going-
feet is plenty of room to
Yep.
put a driveway in,
Yes.
and if somebody buys this property and wants to build a place, they're gonna have to meet, they're gonna go to the planning board.
Yep.
They're gonna have to go through all of that
Staff, all
and
staff.
deal with the
If they want
fire
to
department.
subdivide it and go through with this,
They're gonna
then
have
there's
to do
all
that
the stuff
work.
that, and that's why my mother didn't want to do this.
I don't blame
because, you know,
She didn't want to do this.
She's done.
Okay,
Yeah, and we know that about the fire department, that driveway, and you're gonna have to have turnarounds and everything. So, and some of the sheds and other barns might have to go, but for the purposes of us, you know, we've done our due diligence for Teresa for the real estate portion of it.
So, I mean, I guess my thought is as long as we have an if and only if, that plan. is
Yes.
What, you know,
it's part of. part of the-
otherwise the variance
I'll
is
make that, if I
expired.
make the motion, I'll make sure I do this.
Yeah, and as long as we're acting on something specific and not speculative.
Yeah, because that was the problem that I had when I'm reading it. I'm like, this is a variance for a what if. I don't-
Well, I guess it's kind of an odd situation, right? You know, normally my mother would have been here. It's just kind of the way this all played out since it passed. So,
Well, normally, a buyer who wanted to subdivide would be the one sitting
yeah,
there.
right?
And not you.
And if I had had the foresight, I was telling Cynthia earlier, when I worked with Bob 10, 12 years ago, if I had the foresight that this was ever going to be subdivided when, you know, the estate was sold, believe me, I would have attended to this 10, 11 years ago. We tried.
Well, we're tending to it now.
Yes,
so-
I know.
All the way from New York.
I'm from New Hampshire, but
Yeah, I know, but
I'm
you
stuck
drove
in,
all
I'm
the way
stuck
up
in
there.
New York.
Sure. Upstate or
Okay.
downstate?
According to Kramer and Seinfeld, I would be upstate. I'm north of White Plains.
Some of us are from the Albany area. That's a
Oh,
good part of New York.
near the Connecticut border, 684 and 84.
All right, I hear that I hear Denise's ears turning. Are you
I'm ready to close.
prepared?
Yeah, I think.
If there's anything further you folks would like to add, you know, your arguments are part of the meeting record already, and you've certainly presented your case here tonight. If there's
Yeah.
anything you'd like to say in conclusion, feel free.
No, I think in conclusion, and it was just for Teresa, the pressure of that, can we? And I had said to her, and Chris and Attorney, the daughter, we had said, you know, that I do feel it's the responsibility of the buyer to even do what we're doing here today. But we just felt if we do this, then it will help her out in the long run. And I know that's not what a hardship is, but this is a longtime resident who's getting could get the full value of her property.
As long as it's made clear to any buyer
Yeah.
that if they want to make any deviations from what is approved or not approved here tonight, they're going to have to come before the board again, so.
Great.
you know.
Variance doesn't apply.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't disagree.
Yes.
It's-
Yeah.
Don't forget the people in the back.
Okay.
So do we roll back? We can go sit down and listen to your
We
deliberations?
can roll back and I'll ask all those
We
people
have to leave
sitting
the
in the
big boy
back
table.
there if there's anyone who wants to speak on this proposal. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and the board will enter into deliberations. Don't everybody yell at once.
I
What's
think-
everybody's feelings, so?
I think we're just waiting for you to
I am comfortable with acting on something tonight as long as it's based on the
Well,
plan
that's
as presented.
And this is dated, so I have that all put in my motion.
You know, and it's,
Okay.
and it's clear that, you know, we're acting on something specific and not just on speculative lot.
We're setting this in stone.
Jason, you help me with the
Yep,
criteria, please.
exactly.
Looking
Because I
at
haven't
that.
written it
Yep.
out.
Okay, yeah, I have no problem with it
Okay.
either.
Yeah, just 1 second.
So there's the choke point and the road frontage. Yep,
Okay.
on this drawing.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Got it.
Okay.
just wanted to see if.
Okay, I motion to grant 2 variances.
Hey Denise, sorry, just
So we
before
do
you
that
start,
in one.
I have the file name if you want it, if you want to specify the file name. Because that's what labels the map. It's 1168-CNCPT.
1168 dash what?
C, Charlie, N, November, C, Charlie, P, Papa, T, Tango.
And that's in the, how that was sent to you?
That was, yeah, plan number 37975.
37975.
Yep, that's what it says on the bottom of this.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I motion to grant 2 separate variances to subdivide lot, hang on a minute, sorry, it's kind of,
68, I think is the
map
bottom.
4, lot 68, zoned residential, into 2 lots. First variance is to, the frontage is 143.51, whereas 150 feet is required. Also, there's a pinch point of a minimum of 42 feet in an area where 150 is required for the whole lot. The reason for allowing this is the size of the lot that's going to be subdivided is a large lot in the back. The parcel, is that, how many acres is that roughly? I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to ask you.
Are we talking about the 2?
The lot B,
15.
Lot B, I think the
15?
19 points.
So, no, the house lot, it's like 4.5 acres, so.
So it's a little over 10.
Well,
A little over 15.
15.
15, okay, it says
Yeah.
15, okay. Approximately 15 acres is the reasoning on that. Let me just make sure I'm back up here, okay. This is approved based on a plan that was shown to us by Arago Land Consultant LLC, concept plan dated June 18, 2024. File name in Goffstown database 1168CNCPT, plan 37975. I motion to grant this variance as shown to us this evening. I also my motion is to grant this variance with the driveway not going on the proposed driveway, going out to the road, a new driveway being put in. And criteria. If I can find my sheet here, I might be able to get through all this. Not contrary to the public interest. It's a large lot. It's going to be a beautiful house location. I don't have any issues with that. I don't think the public does as well. Spirit of the ordinance is observed for the same reason. Granting the variance would do substantial justice. It's a valuable piece of land. You're going to get more money on 2 lots than you are 1. Is that substantial justice? I think it is. I mean, you have this huge lot. I have no issue with that. Surrounding property values would not be diminished as shown because of how we're seeing it here. Unnecessary hardship of ordinance is enforced. Definitely would be. It's going to cut the value of that piece of property.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, can you repeat the second? No.
Yeah, where's Gail when we need her, right? We could ask for her to repeat that. Gail?
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. You have your
Thank you
variances,
so much.
folks.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. I know it was unusual. I really.
That's
That
fine.
was
Well, it
very
was,
confusing.
Chuck this one up under weird.
I looked at it for a long time.
So what was the confusion when you were reading it cold? I'm curious.
I kept seeing two-lot subdivision, two-lot
thought it was
subdivision, and I'm
already two
thinking you're
lots.
adding 2 lots. And I'm looking, I'm like, I'm not seeing this. I mean, I get this thing all marked up, notes all over it. And it, I thought this is what you were looking at, but I wasn't positive. So that's what confused me. And
Cup of coffee with
I think a
salt.
lot of us, I don't know why we all thought it was gonna end up being 3 lots when we first looked
Oh.
at it.
Oh.
That
how it
was
was.
our concern.
And they they used the word proposed lot.
Yes.
So I was
Yeah, I saw
thrown
that
to
in the write-up,
thinking,
and because I got a
it
little,
was-
I said I didn't think we were proposing anything, we're just looking for
So-
a variance.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And
So,
again, but that was why we needed to have something concrete in front of us to act on rather than,
Right.
well, we really want to do this, well,
and I'm glad you brought this plan came in
yeah.
our packet,
Yeah.
because you'd probably be coming back. So this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. No, I know Teresa will be happy. Thank you so much.
great.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, thank you, everybody, and I really appreciate it.
And you don't live in town, so I can't say it'd be nice if you joined the board.
I was already on the board.
I've been telling my wife,
Pay your dues.
I've been looking for an excuse to come back for a long time.
Well, there you go. Denise said.
I grew up in Litchfield, so
Okay.
this is my backyard.
That's close.
All right.
Okay, great, you're ready to go.
More stuff, Mr. Chair.
Sorry there's not more people to entertain you for the rest of the
Oh, we've got more
Okay.
We
stuff.
seem to entertain ourselves if you ever noticed. Should see when the meetings go till 10.
Oh, I know. Thank you.
All right, one last item, citizens report before we.
Yeah, he worked with Todd. You know Rob, Todd?
Oh, yeah.
I was
Son?
love it, Rob.
Oh, you
I
did?
certainly
Yes,
did.
Rob, yeah, are we
You
talking
did
about the
too?
father or the son right now?
Oh, okay,
We
yeah.
went to school with the
With
son.
Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know,
I
and he's a
never met him.
licensed land surveyor, but he's a computer whiz too.
Yes,
You know,
he
I see him at a lot of
certainly is.
meetings, so.
Yes.
Bob was quite the guy. When I hooked up with him in 2012, I think I called the town and said, which engineering firm is going to help me? He said, call Bob Todd, and he was a
Yeah.
rock star.
He was great.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I see a lot of his plans.
Yeah, I
And
know.
well, and when
This
I-
one has everything on it.
I called Patty, you can thank her, because when I started, when this all came up this spring, I said, now, I went and found Bob Todd, and they said, Bob's passed away. And I went, but I got connected ultimately to Cynthia. Who was it that connected me? Patty connected me with another engineering firm that
Yeah.
inherited all his
Yeah, the
plans.
wetland scientist, and then
Yeah.
he's like, okay, you can have a survey.
Patty is one of our dinosaurs in town hall.
She's-
I
She
don't
was-
think she'd appreciate that.
You see that big recording light?
Did you guys shut off the camera and the microphones?
You are going down.
No, because we're not done yet.
I'm thinking 30 years in there, so.
Well, she went to school with Billy. Dick's son moved into the farmhouse. That's how it unfolded. But she was, oh, I know Billy. I went to school.
Small world.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
know. it's-
Listen, thank you, everybody. It was nice
Thank
meeting you.
you.
Thank you, have a good
Have a
day.
good night.
Go well,
Yeah.
Sam. Take care, guys.
Okay, one last small item of business, which shouldn't take very long. A complaint from Vicky Warad about the gas station on North Mass Road, which I think
Has nothing to do with
we
us.
should probably refer it over to Mr. Shepherd to refer it to the appropriate agencies. Because it looks like enforcement stuff that there's nothing that comes under zoning purview and operating hours. You can buy gas with a credit card after midnight. Again, nothing in our purview.
There's nothing in our zoning or anything for that. That would be entirely up to the planning board to decide.
Was the original gas station, I thought there were limits when they could be open and closed. I remember discussing that. There were limits with the old one. Am I
think it
wrong in
was-
stating that, or were we assuming that
We
that's
were
what they were
assuming,
open?
we were assuming because the public, he didn't want to stay open, really, because I can remember years ago, I needed some diesel fuel for my oil tank. And I said, the only one that's open is him. So I drove all the way from, God, I think it was Hooksett. Came over from Hooksett, and there he was. And that was 10 o'clock at night.
And how long ago was this?
And this was like about 25 years ago.
You know, I'd have to go through, I mean, honestly, I'd have to go through the minutes
Yeah.
and make sure that we didn't discuss that time.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was brought up, but I don't recall any proof ever happening.
No, no.
There was,
My thought was they were gonna have to go to planning.
Right.
And that's where they would discuss the hours and the lighting.
Correct,
I remember saying that.
correct.
But that would be, has he done anything?
Not that I know of.
So they haven't had the opportunity to go to the planning board to discuss their concerns.
Correct.
And we approved the canopy.
Yes,
Canopy got passed.
Yes.
Right, okay.
yes.
I know that on gas stations in the past, I remember when the Cumbies in the village was rebuilt, you know, the operating hours, 6 AM, 10 PM, that was part of the discussions at the point
Yeah.
of the approval for that. I'm trying to recall how specifically we might have touched on it, but then again, this is not a new location here.
No, this is old.
This is a 50 or 60-year-old
56-year-old
location.
And even if we just, because I'm thinking we may have discussed time, and I'm thinking, should we bring up the minutes? That would not pertain to what's existing.
No,
If we put restrictions on time, that would have been for the canopy.
correct.
right, and when we did
Correct.
not.
And we did not.
Okay.
We did not.
No, I know we didn't, because we said the planning board would take care of that.
Right.
Exactly.
And we're not
So-
allowed to do that at this point.
No, we're not.
No,
We're not allowed to do
We're
that.
not.
So it has to be in
I
our
mean, even, yeah,
docus, in
Yeah,
our
it's-
docus
and
for
it's not.
Goffstown.
Right, it's
Right, it's
not.
gonna have to be voted on to make these changes, right?
That would be
Yeah.
up to the public.
And the planning
So
board
the
can
public has,
determine
yeah, the
that.
planning board
Planning
has
board,
to,
Out of
yeah,
our
it's a
hands.
lot more.
wouldn't,
I believe.
sorry, Jack, but wouldn't this go back to enforcement anyway to see if there was ever a variance that was written that said that had limited on hours? Because that wouldn't be us now. That would go to
There was
the
nothing in the
property.
file.
So
Right?
there's no-
There was
Yeah,
nothing in the file.
yeah, I didn't recall seeing anything.
I know that when, you know, they talked about when they moved there, it wasn't open very often,
Right.
you know.
It was
But-
through ownerships that it was
Right,
going
right,
through.
right. So I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with us.
No.
Yeah, their only recourse is when, I mean, if there's no variance, I mean, no stipulation when they can be open.
Nope, there's no hours of operation,
Okay.
and that would be entirely up to the
So when they
planning
get through the canopy, that's gonna be the time for the neighbors to go in and say, hey, this is awfully loud.
Yep.
Okay. And same with the lighting, because lighting should not
But
draft
what-
off-site.
No, it
And
should-
it won't, it will not, if
No,
it's
no.
for the planning board.
The
'cause new
lumens
technology-
cannot hit the road
Yeah,
anyways.
new technology, there's no light
Yeah.
drift.
So once again, planning, not us.
No, well, right, it's nobody right now.
No,
Right.
It's,
no,
I,
it goes right back to planning. It's up to them.
No.
When they bring it up. in
when
front.
they go in, right.
Yeah.
But right now, if there's no restriction on it, there's nothing we can do.
A new ordinance. Create a new ordinance.
Which,
Gas station.
Well, yeah, but I don't think
I
that
don't
would
think
apply
that will.
anyway.
That won't
I mean, that
happen.
doesn't kind
Well, it
of-
might, I can't say, but that's up to when they sit down in December and they go through it all.
Yeah.
which-
Yeah.
which I will also throw something out here. Hint, hint, we're coming up to the season where they will start drafting
Oh,
things for
thank you.
zoning amendments, et
Yes.
cetera, et
Yes.
cetera. And,
I've already got a small list myself.
and I pitched a rather loud bitch last year because zoning was not being included in some of the meetings that they were having regarding potential changes in the ordinance. I want that to change because I think, you know, we're the ones that have to decide on it. We should be involved in the drafting of
They
it.
asked me to sit in, I sat in, and I gave my opinion on the storage sheds. And why I don't think the trailers should be in a residential area. And shouldn't be treated as a storage shed, because it's not. I mean, people can, you can put I mean, I've seen cars, small cars go into a storage shed, but hazardous materials go in there, and there's a big problem being in a closed environment.
Right.
And this is from working for OSHA. when I say this. So, and I've seen them blow up, you know, just from heat. A car sitting in there for storage, bam. What happened in Hooksett? And they put a Cadillac or, no, a 67 Chevelle, they put it in there, and a full tank of gas, and the fumes just whoosh, just ignited. And that was like 30 years ago.
I do think we said we'd have a workshop on this.
Yeah,
Yep. But anyway, just to raise that.
Well, maybe we ought to schedule one
that would be cool.
at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool.
Things that you've seen, if you've got some ideas.
It'd be
for
nice
what-
if we had a month with no applicants, and then we could say there's our
Yes.
workshop.
That
I
hasn't,
don't-
that hasn't
And we
happened
get
each
though
year.
August coming, I wonder.
I had someone come in for August, but I don't think they're gonna.
Well, what would your thought be if we had a real light meeting and then say, okay, we're gonna extend it, like tonight would have been a good one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, if we had planned it, or maybe we say, hey, even if, let's be ready in the
Yeah,
next
come
couple
armed with,
meetings.
come armed with ideas,
Yeah.
because, you know, there are certain,
I mean, that one little verbiage that they put in for me, for the zoning, to enforce it, helped out my code enforcement.
Great.
So, and it has helped.
And we'll let them, and you and them make the
But it
wording.
comes
because
down
needs
to a
a
point where,
wordsmith for that.
how much money do you keep going? How much money does the town want to spend in Superior Court to keep going after this? And that's not my call, that's
Right.
the select board's call, you know, and at that point. But it's me walking up and asking someone to stop and tell them what the cause of action could be, that's worked. That's worked.
How difficult would it be to get your staff reports for the past 2 years?
For the past years,
2 years. You have to buy Patty lunch, breakfast, dinner, the whole bit.
Have you been?
well, no,
2
Patty's
years?
got them, Patty's got them all on site, and I've got all mine. They're in a folder, you know, because I copy everything. I make 2 copies of everything. I have my own printer. Yes.
Do you have a scanner?
No, they don't trust me with the scanner. No.
Good, they must be digital.
Well, worst case scenario, they're part of the minutes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know, but how easy would it be to review these and say, oh yeah, that was another variance, a variance?
Yeah.
Let's refresh our mind over 2 years of things we're like,
I mean, I can go back to
all.
all my notes and all my field reviews, staff reviews.
This would be,
And then whatever I don't have, I can ask Patty, she can pull them up for me. She's on vacation, so she's
I don't need them
enjoying,
now, but.
she's enjoying herself in Amsterdam right now.
Is she really? Oh, boy, I won't ask her the day she comes back. Give her a week. We better sign out of here before I go.
I'll make a, oh,
go.
sorry. No, please.
I just think if we have all this in hand,
Yeah.
we can all make our own notes. I mean, everybody's gonna have different opinions on what they feel, you know, we could change.
What could have been eliminated for
Yeah.
that 3-hour meeting could have been down to 20 minutes.
Goodness.
Yeah.
and there are some things I think we have talked about in past years also about, and maybe a grand design about coming up with some ideas for some special rules for zoning that might only apply to the Pinardville end of town where,
Yeah.
you know, where basically because of the age and the size of the lots, people can do absolutely nothing without the time and expense
True,
of coming
because
before the
Concord's
board.
got something similar because I just went through it because I wanted to put a shed up. And I can, because of my size of my lot, I can do 5 foot from side. I can do anything under 250 square feet, 5 feet. And I went, wow, that's cool.
Yeah?
But you know, in thinking it might be good for a lot of the properties in Pinardville and save people money and headache.
Yeah.
Some of the very routine things we see where you're gonna go 18 inches into the setback when you were already violating the setback because of the age of.
What about Lewis Street? They all think they own all those sheds and all that lawn going back, and they don't. Their sheds and everything's
And they
on.
probably have utilized that for
They've been
100
maintaining it
years.
for 30 years.
Yeah.
All I
probably been
will
part of
say,
that.
Jack, is my daughter lives on Louis
Yeah.
Street, so yes, I'm familiar with it.
So they've been maintaining it, and it looks great.
But where is the actual cutoff?
But when
there?
they come to do something,
Yeah.
that's not their property line.
No,
So
that's not their property, and
Yeah.
so.
Or if they come to, I won't say that I know some people who might have done some
Don't rat out your daughter now.
Not my daughter, wouldn't rat her out, but, you know, I know some people down there who've done some cowboy.
I thought today, because we have near map now, okay, I thought I caught a pool that was built without a permit, because I didn't see the permit, and all of a sudden, okay, so I got Scott, and I says, find it, Scott. Scott says, there it is, this is the permit. I says, all right, so we went back 20 years, and there it was. I said, it's perfectly maintained, and that's on Hillcrest. As you're going around up off of Page Hill. So, nice area. Time, it's a road that time forgot.
All right, are we ready to,
Yes.
I shall
entertain a
motion to
adjourn?
leave. Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're done. Thank you, GTV.